Hey guys! Today I'm going to show you how to make these Among Us squishies out of earplugs just because they kind of look like them. Of course you'll be needing earplugs for this tutorial, but if you don't have them, you can use memory foam or a car sponge. It's just easier to use earplugs because they're kind of already in the shape of the crewmates or the imposters. Mine were in the shape of a cylinder, but if you have the rounded ones, that's even better because you already have a head shaped out. Since my earplugs are not rounded already, I'm just going to go ahead and do that to the top. Another good thing about using earplugs is that it's super slow rising. So there's the rounded head, and next I'm going to move on to the legs. For the legs, I'm cutting 2 short lines, and then I'm just going to pluck the middle part. After you pluck that middle piece out, you want to wait until your earplug rises back up because it's going to be squished. The squishy kind of looks like a letter A at this point, and now I'm going to cut out the dents on the legs to make it more noticeable. I cut the dent in a U shape to separate the body and the legs. This is how it looks so far, and now I'm going to flip it to the back and cut a small piece. The reason I'm cutting a small piece is to make its little backpack and the face. So there's a small piece I cut off. It's a little smushed right now, so I'm going to wait until that rises back up. The back is looking a little dented, so I'm going to fix that right now by cutting the edges and rounding it off. And oop, I accidentally dropped it. So now the other piece I cut off is back into its original shape, and I'm going to cut that into a square. I'm using orange Puffy paint to glue down the backpack or whatever that square thing on the back is. You don't want to use hot glue or super glue because those will dry hard, and when you squish it, it's just going to feel like a rock because the squishy is so tiny. Since my earplug was already orange, I decided to just paint it orange. I didn't want to paint it a light color like white or cyan because I thought the orange will show through. Even though I'm using the same color, it's a different shade of orange, and also the Puffy paint covers up all the tiny holes so you have a smoother surface. The earplug is already slow rising, so it's up to you to decide how much paint you want to put, but I put 2 layers because that covered up most of the holes. I did the same thing for the second squishy, except this one's going to be a little bit different because I'm going to cut this in half. I had a little bit of extra foam left over, and for that I'm going to create the bone. The bone is basically a heart shape at the top, and then I kind of just slimmed it down on the bottom. So I'm gluing down the backpack again just like I did with the first one. Now is the sad part. I'm going to cut this in half. I'm going to paint the entire squishy green on both pieces. On a side note, my paintbrush is super dirty. There was actually dry paint on the paintbrush, so I had to throw it away after this video. I decided to color this one green, and the green was a dark color, so it actually did cover up the orange. I don't recommend you paint this white because the orange shows through the white paint and it's hard to cover up. Now that I painted the entire squishy, I'm going to glue on the bone. And as you can see, the bone is still kind of orange, so I did fix that later in this video. I'm applying red Puffy paint and spreading that out with a toothpick. Then I'm going to stick the bone in there while the paint is still wet. I believe the inside is actually dark green in the game, but I wanted to make it red just to make it look more dramatic. Don't forget to also paint the blood on the head side. Now we're almost done with the squishy. These are the pieces that I have so far. The last step is to make the eyes or the goggles, whatever it's called. Believe it or not, I still had an extra piece left over, so I cut that in half and used it to make the face. The face has 3 shades of blue, so it goes from a dark blue to a lighter blue color. I put the earplug on top of a piece of tape so that I could keep it still while I'm painting it. So now I have those 2 pieces and I'm going to glue it down with Fabric Fusion. Fabric Fusion is a clear glue and it dries flexible. And if you don't have Fabric Fusion, of course you can always use Puffy paint. We're finally done with the squishy. Here's the first one, which is the dead crewmate. And the other one is the orange imposter. I must have accidentally messed with the backside because the backpack turned out crooked. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. Please give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!